England's rivers are widely agreed to be a national treasure, aren't they? But only 14%, would you believe, are in good ecological health, and every single one fails to meet chemical standards. They're under enormous pressure, polluted from a number of sources. That includes sewage pouring from ageing infrastructure, increasingly unable to cope. One way to tackle the problem is to harness the power of nature itself, as James Ingham now reports.
This is the River Pang, a small chalk stream tributary of the Thames. It's thought to have inspired Kenneth Grahame's character Ratty in The Wind in the Willows. But life's not always easy here for aquatic life.
There's this really kind of fine mist of kind of brown gunk over everything. We would normally want to see things like mayfly, stonefly, shrimp, but more of what we're finding is kind of leeches, beetle larvae, things that indicate that the river's not a healthy, pristine chalk stream.
The damage is partly the result of sewage pollution from treatment works like this one near the village of Hampstead Norreys.
We know from Thames Water's own data that this particular sewage treatment works discharges untreated sewage for more than 4,000 hours every year, and there are only about 8,000 hours in a year. So for more than half the year, this treatment works discharges sewage that hasn't been treated.
What do you think of that?
This is not acceptable, and it's not the way a developed country should be running its wastewater network. This isn't a one-off. There are hundreds and hundreds of sewage treatment works all across the country behaving in the same way, and we're gradually killing our rivers, and that's really not okay.
The sewage releases are permitted after heavy rainfall, when treatment works like this one at Kintbury become inundated. These so-called combined sewer overflows happened 400,000 times in England last year. Thames Water says it regards such discharges as unacceptable and wants to stop them, with improvement work at some plants underway. But the firm has been fined more than £30 million over the past 5 years for 11 major pollution incidents. So can it be trusted?
Well, trust has to be earned. Our performance hasn't been good enough, and we have got a major turnaround plan in place. It's going to take quite a long time to get it done, but we're starting now. We've got things happening on the ground. We're bringing work forward. We're spending £250 million a year at the moment on maintaining and improving the sewage treatment processes, and the whole company is fully engaged as part of our turnaround plan in getting these discharges right down as quickly as possible.
Solving the problem is complex for all water companies. Greater investment in infrastructure will undoubtedly help, but increasingly nature-based schemes are seen as part of the solution. Campaigners on the River Pang say reeds could naturally treat frequent discharges there. That approach has worked on the River Wylye in Wiltshire. It was regularly polluted, as when groundwater got into underground pipes, sewage had to be released to stop it flooding into people's homes. But the problem's been fixed relatively cheaply and easily with the construction of a reed bed that naturally filters and cleans the sewage.
Sometimes people like to see a concrete structure or a big physical thing they can say that's going to fix it, whereas actually this is about allowing nature to fix it. This would be a fantastic way to address a national problem, because not only is it then solving the discharges of sewage going into our rivers, but we're creating fantastic new wildlife habitat. I mean, this reed bed has been absolutely alive with bird life.
Wessex Water says it's looking at other rural locations where such a scheme could work, as well as civil engineering solutions in urban areas, as part of its commitment to reduce pollution. It is one of the better performing water companies, but regulators say last year it failed to meet its own pollution targets.
From a Wessex Water perspective, we are meeting our pollution targets at the moment, but the Environment Agency are tightening the targets for all water companies through their annual environmental performance assessment. So there are increasingly more stringent targets for water companies to meet around pollutions. And so yes, that will become a lot more challenging for us to achieve that as well.
So do you see a future, though, where the company is meeting the stringent targets that the government is setting?
Absolutely, it's something we've got to aspire to, yes.
Government-commissioned experts say nature-based schemes should be encouraged as part of a mix of approaches used to reduce sewage pollution. With rivers now increasingly used for recreation, nature itself could help restore their health, with benefits for us and the wider environment. James Ingham, BBC South Today.